ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Digication, the Teachers Talking Terror podcast, where myself, Mike,
and myself, Courtney,
are back again. This time we're covering something a little bit more recent, which by recent just blew my mind. This movie's 18 years old already.
Yeah.
I remember when it came out, I was excited. Well, it's just a fun movie, but we're here to talk about 2006 Adam Green project, Hatchet, a chance and an opportunity for him to kind of bring a 80s era slasher type feel into the new millennium. So some say he did it with success. Some say it wasn't quite the groundbreaking film that it was kind of hyped up to be. But either way, it's got 3 sequels. So I guess it did that right in establishing a slasher that gets some extra movie length out of it. So, yeah, this was my week. Again, as usual, I'm excited to get back to the end of the show to find out what you have recommended or that you want to see for next week. But this movie definitely does not take itself very seriously.
No.
It definitely feels like a project of a person who has a really good idea of what he wants on film, but at the same time is still like a brand new filmmaker. There was something like the blood splashes against the tree. Just some of those were just like, oh, that seems very amateur. But this guy kind of was an amateur. So very simple story, though. Really, we've got a bunch of people whose names don't matter.
Yeah.
But the movie kicks off with a nice touch as we have Robert Englund himself, Freddy Krueger, and his son Ainsley are hunting alligators late at night. Have you ever had alligator?
Yes.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Yeah. I've had gator a couple of times, introduced my son to it, I think 2 years ago on vacation. He's a little apprehensive, and then he's like, that's really good. So
yeah, it is pretty good.
Yeah.
I've only had it once, but I remember being like, oh, that was so good.
Right. It was good. So these guys are hunting alligators at night. They're not supposed to be out there. They're having this kind of fun little argument. And so Ainsley, the son, he's got to pee. His dad's like, just pee off the edge of the boat.
Yeah.
You know, alligator pops up, which scares him naturally. So he finally goes to shore, goes to pee. He's kind of ruffling, bad-mouthing his dad. And when he comes back to the boat, he finds his dad dead. And not just dead, but this movie's got a lot of gore to it.
Yes, it does.
So not only is he dead, but he's like, his chest cavity's been ripped open. You see a lot of his ribs and internal organs or whatever. He's dead.
Mm-hmm. This kind of leads me to a question, and I want you to think on it. Because a friend and I were talking about this, like, oh, I'd love to be in a horror movie. Would you can answer it at the end. Would you want to be the first death, like this one, or would you want to like die later on in the movie?
As an actor or as like a character in a movie?
Like character in the movie.
Okay, so like if I was like myself, if I was in a horror film, when would I want to die? Obviously, I wouldn't want to, but
you have to.
Okay, but if I had to die, I guess it wouldn't even be have to. It's when would I? I'd like to think, according to I've watched a lot of horror films, I'd probably find myself probably near the end.
Okay. That's what I said.
Not at the end, because horror films are designed for a female to be the last one. But I could see myself, I think I'm smart enough to avoid dying at the beginning. But I wouldn't win. Like I could see myself hanging in there for a while, just based on my wits and my extensive knowledge of horror films. What situations to avoid.
Yeah.
But I think I would probably play the role of that character that seems to know a lot about horror films, so he stays out of those situations, which then makes his comeuppance that more rewarding, because it's like, this guy's done everything right all along, and now he just can't avoid death.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I would end up, I believe.
Yeah.
How about you?
This made me think of it. Oh, I want to be towards the end, but I want to be like the surprise death to where everyone just, I mean, let's be honest, does this surprise you? I want everyone to love me throughout the movie.
Yeah. Now, would you want to die on screen, or would you want to be one of the people who go missing and then suddenly like swing down from a doorway?
I want to die on screen.
You want
Yes.
your death to be filmed?
Yeah, because I want it to be like,
oh
no, Courtney died. What? She's my favorite character. Like
So your death would probably end up being one that like you're buddied up with someone who you've trusted the whole film, and then they end up being the killer.
Hey, I'll take that.
So you know what I mean? To where you've gone off with, character A in a trusting because they're your best friend or whatever, and then they're the one that ends up turning a knife on you.
Yeah.
And that's why everyone's shocked because
yeah.
I do. I think I would be the one that who again has probably done everything right, but still at some point finds them isolated.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I walked away from the group, but I could see a situation where like maybe the group walked away from me before I realized it, and then I find myself alone, and that's when I get killed. Yeah. I don't know how I'd want to be killed though.
This first death is just like boom, gore.
Yeah.
You know the movie's going to be gory, and so it just like set the tone for it. So I'm like, man,
yeah.
How would I want to be the first? And kind of, but then I'm like, I want that character build up. Like I want it to be a shock.
The longer you're in the movie, the more you get paid too. So
yeah, true.
But yeah, so the dad and the son are killed off before the credits even open.
Yeah.
Then we get the credit scene with a pretty stupid early 2000s song and pretty stupid, honestly, opening, like following the water into the sewer system, blah, 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 blah. As they cut up right as the music drops and we're at Mardi Gras.
Mm-hmm. You got a group of friends.
Yeah, I've never been. I've never even been to Louisiana. I have no interest in Mardi Gras. There was a time before I was 44 where maybe I was interested, but like I have no desire to go. But it's very obvious and kind of fun that this is not really filmed at Mardi Gras. No. This is filmed pretending to be Mardi Gras because the crowds look small and it's fun. But they hit every beat. You get the purples, the greens, the beads, the boobs. You get the works.
Yeah.
And this is really where we meet our protagonist, Ben. Ben and Marcus. Ben is on a trip to Mardi Gras with his friends in an effort to get him over his long lost love. A woman who, I don't care what her name is, but they'd been together a long time and she cheated on him and it just broke Ben's heart. So he can't even get excited when there's boobs all over the place. So Marcus, his dearest friend, there's like a group of four of them. To be honest, the two that didn't go with Marcus and Ben, they're alive and well.
Yeah, they're just fine.
But Ben has an idea. Buddy of his had gone like last year on a haunted swamp tour. That's what he wants to do. It sounds like fun. Marcus is like, that sounds lame. I liked Marcus. I thought he was funny. And Ben's just kind of, man, guilt tripping Marcus along. Marcus decides to join him. Would you, like I said, I have no interest in Mardi Gras. Would you go?
No, I could care. Honestly, it would depend on the friend group that I went with. Cause like if I went with my friend Haley, sign me up. I'm going. But I don't know. There's just like my hometown friends. We're just kind of chill. So no, I would not. Do you feed into peer pressure? Yes, because I'm a people pleaser.
Okay. So if you were at Mardi Gras and people wanted beads, you would do what you needed to do for the beads?
Yeah, I'd have all the beads. Probably not. But if I were not married, I'd probably have all the beads.
That's probably a good answer.
Sorry, Casey.
No, you don't have to apologize. You know what he's doing right now? He's hitting Party City.
He's getting the beads.
It's like, it's good to know. Fat Tuesday right around the corner.
Yep.
And so they go seek out a swamp tour, and we get another fun cameo as they show up at Reverend Zombie's place, who's played by Tony Todd, who played the original Candyman. So real early, we get Freddy Krueger, we get Candyman, we get some real fun, like horror icon-ish cameos here. And so I really kind of enjoyed this part where he's telling him the story of why he's not allowed to do the swamp tours anymore. And it's just, he's got that real deep voice and it's really drawn out. And of course, basically he was sued for negligence and he can't do it anymore. Really kind of, it's just a fun little way to end this, like a really engaging story. So he's like, just go on down the street. You know, there's a place down there that'll take care of you. So this is where Ben and Marcus meet up with the rest of the group. They walk into Sean's boat tour. Sean is an Asian gentleman with a very fake Creole accent. We also meet Ben Shapiro. Was it Ben? No, Ben Shapiro's a real guy.
I was going to say, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was Doug Shapiro. Sorry about that, Ben. Not that you're a listener. We meet Doug Shapiro with Misty and Jenna. Basically, he's filming this like Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah.
It's Girls Gone Wild before your time.
No.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. That was really gross. Like, really
I just love afterwards, like when he stops, she's like, do you even brush your teeth?
I know, yeah. Like these two.
I'm like, oh man, that's unfortunate.
These two hate each other. But when the camera's rolling, they're willing to flash the goods.
Yeah.
So Doug, Misty, and Jenna are going on this boat tour. We also meet Jim and Shannon, who are this older couple from Minnesota. They're married. They're like, if you could look up tourist in the dictionary, it would be Jim and Shannon.
Yeah.
And so they all head to the bus, and we meet Mary Beth, who's already on the bus and waiting. Mary Beth is very moody and closed off, and so they're headed to the boat tour. Ben, who hasn't spoken to another female outside of his girlfriend, is like, they did a really good job writing these characters. Yeah. Because Ben does a good job of just like, nice coat. Like,
yeah,
he's trying to flirt. He's very bad at it.
Yeah. And she's not having it. Like, she's like, listen, I didn't get on this bus to talk to you. So leave me alone. Yeah.
And I don't fault her for that at all. Ben, honestly, he's harmless.
Yeah.
But he's trying to flirt. Marcus he's flirty with one of the film girls. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, they're all out there. We get enough knowledge of their characters to decide whether we like them or not.
Yeah.
We get some fun back and forth as they're on the boat, or not. They're not yet. Yeah, they're on the boat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're on the boat. And Sean, the tour guide, is trying to scare them because it's a haunted tour.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know why the tombstones are buried above ground? And because the spirits are, and of course then you've got Jim and Shannon. They're like, no, it's the water levels are too high. It's just kind of this fun back and forth as they're just poking holes in his tour all tour long, really.
Yeah.
So they finally get on a boat. They get the boat started. They got this white guy in like a John boat yelling after him. Jack Cracker is what they call him. He's yelling at him. You guys, the swamp's closed.
Go away.
It's closed.
Yeah.
Get out of here. The swamp's closed. To which Sean just ignores them and off they go.
After he finally gets the boat started.
He breaks character a couple of times and like really sounds very like stereotypically Chinese. And so, they're headed out on the boat. They're doing their thing, and they run aground.
Yeah.
And to which everybody's mad at Sean. Obviously, like, how many tours have you done? He's like, this is my second. It's my second tour. My brother said I can make some money at this or whatever. The boat starts to sink, so they all have to come aground. Luckily, what they run aground on was basically a tree that had fallen over, but the trunk runs all the way to the shoreline. So it's easy, guys. Like, even Jim's like, it's easy. Like, you just walk across this. Jim slips and falls, and then is bitten by a gator. Like,
like, come on, so easy.
Yeah. Slips, falls, like racks himself, bitten by a gator. Everybody finally gets off the boat. Mary Beth ends up having to shoot at the gator, which now everyone's like, why does she have a gun? Like, she just saved you guys.
Yeah, don't question.
No. And so as they're out in the middle of nowhere. They have no idea where they're at. It's dark. They're lost. The boat is wrecked. The cell phone service is dead. And it's the haunted area. Sean's talking about how he tells the story at one point of Victor Crowley. We kind of skipped over this. It was a flashback scene where we get a father played by Kane Hodder, who played Jason in about 4 of the Friday the 13th movies. So we get another fun cameo. Kane Hodder also plays Victor Crowley, grown-up Victor Crowley in the movie. So, la-da-da, long backstory is you get this deformed kid who's trapped in a house fire, and dad trying to bust the door down catches him in the face with a hatchet.
Yeah.
Hence the name Hatchet.
Yep.
Victor Crowley died, and the dad died 10 years later of a broken heart. Like, that's a long time to live with a broken heart.
I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, man, 10 years. Huh.
Yeah. A long time to just sit there.
Yeah.
And so, Sean's like, oh, we passed his shack, and to which Mary Beth's like, no, that's his shack. Like, right at the top of the hill of where they're standing. So, even though they've told a story about how he's dead, and Mary Beth finally comes clean as to what she's out there for. Like, my dad and brother have gone missing. They have a boat. They've gone missing. I think it was, and even she's I think she believes in ghosts a little bit.
Yeah.
Because the story is that Victor Crowley's dead, and she's just like, well, Victor Crowley killed my dad and my brother. I'm out to avenge him. Almost like because he died a horrible death, his spirit still walks the earth, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Jim and Shannon, of course, head up towards the shack. For reasons I really never understood. You think the guy's dead, and if he's not, he's a killer. Yeah. And you're like, well, we're just going to head up to this shack anyway. As they get close, we finally see Victor Crowley. Comes busting out. He's all messed up, all mangled and muscled and deformed.
He honestly kind of reminds me of the hey, you guys.
Oh, yeah. Very slothish.
Yeah.
Very sloth from Goonies. I could see that for sure. So Victor Crowley comes running down the hill. Of course, Jim can't run very fast because he's been bitten in the leg by an alligator. Victor pushes him to his knees, takes his hatchet, and starts hacking away at like his shoulder line. And just keeps on hacking, like basically cuts him in half at the shoulder while everyone else stands there and watches, including his wife Shannon, who stands like arms reach away, just like, oh, stop it, stop. Like, your husband is dead.
Yeah. My
favorite kill of the movie, as Shannon tries to run away, Victor Crowley runs up behind her, grabs her by the bottom jaw and over the top from the top jaw, and literally just like rips her head back. Her tongue's just very fun practical effect. So they're dead. We still have everybody else though. So let's see here. There we are, my notes. So Mary Beth is like, hey, everybody, we're not safe. We got to get out of here. The group takes off finally. They stood there and watched 2 murders before they ran off. Shapiro splits from the group and and he gets killed.
Yeah, he doesn't last long.
I don't remember how he died. Oh, his head got twisted around.
Yes.
Victor comes up behind him and like literally spins his head like 360 degrees. And so everybody else has the idea of, let's go back to the shack to see if there's any weapons.
Yeah.
Like there's got to, because they're like, if he's a spirit, then we have to kill him. So, they've got to go, kill the spirit. So they kind of split up a little bit to kind of be on the lookout. One of the girls hears her cell phone ring because she threw it or dropped it or something. Here's the cell phone ring. She finds it. Victor Crowley takes her down. That was the blonde. I don't remember how she died. I don't remember how she died.
I don't either, but I don't think it was...
Oh, we never saw how she died.
I was going to say, I don't think it was gory.
No, we didn't see it. And I'll get to that. The other girl dies. Victor comes... This is the one kill. Not that any of these kills were good or bad or whatever. This is the one that was most impractical. As he corners her and then takes like a belt sander, like a powered belt sander, and basically applies it to her face to just like shred her face off.
Yeah.
That was not a battery powered belt sander.
No.
And even if it was a battery powered belt sander, you got to charge your batteries.
Yeah.
Which means that was plugged in somewhere. And I know it's stupid to be so nitpicky. I know, trust me, I know it's ridiculous to be this nitpicky, but that's the one kill. Even though it was fun to watch, I couldn't help be like, how's that plugged in? Where'd you get
the power?
Yeah, like that's like you turned it on. It had to power up. Oh well, it doesn't matter.
It's Duracell batteries or Energizer batteries. They last forever.
Yeah. And so Sean, that was Jenna.
Yes.
She gets killed by the belt sander. Sean attempts to save her because he attacks Victor with a shovel. But then Victor just like takes it away from him, pins him down, and then like cuts his head clean off with the shovel. Just puts it by his throat and then stomps down on it like you would be digging a hole. Off goes his head. And then to finish Jenna off, the one who he was taking the belt sander to the face, picks her up and then like impales her on the shovel. Yeah. Okay, so she's dead. Misty was the one that we didn't see die.
Yes.
But we're down to Ben, Marcus, Mary Beth, and Misty ? Yeah. Their plan is, let's go back to Victor's shack. Mary Beth and Marcus stand outside trying to get Victor's attention, as Ben is going to be inside finding, hopefully, gasoline will catch him on fire.
Yep, we're just gonna kill him
because that's how he needs to die. Yeah. So Mary Beth and Marcus are hollering for it. At no point, if I were a character in this movie, at no point would I be around.
Yeah, no.
I'm long gone. Like no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, I'm just letting the alligators take me at this point. Like
as soon as I saw him coming down the hill towards Jim, I'm out.
Yep.
I'm not staying together. Like I know I said earlier, like I'd be the person who's making the right decision. I'm like, no, I am away from the group, away from this shack. Decision. I am gone.
Yep.
So they have this plan. Ben is in there looking for gasoline, and he starts getting hit. Well, it's Misty's like severed body parts that Victor's just throwing at him. Also finds Mary Beth's brother and dad are in there as well. Whatever. So mission accomplished. Yeah. They throw gasoline on Victor. They light him on fire, and we get kind of a cool firewalk scene where he's burning again. But as soon as they like
Uh,
mission, like then it starts pouring rain.
yeah, it's like the universe just laughs at them. Like,
Yeah,
you got him lit on fire and he's now like on the ground, like dying, and we're
right.
just gonna put the fire out.
Yeah. So dead is Victor until he's not. Fire or the water puts out the fire. The rain puts out the fire. So he gets up and he chases down Marcus. Um, Comes up behind, like kills Marcus. He rips his arms off from
Yeah.
behind, like catches him, tears his arms off. They don't, and then picks his body, his torso up, and like because they're like running through a cemetery now. Picks his torso up and like slams it against a headstone. So Marcus is dead. Victor throws a pole after Ben and Mary Beth. It impales Ben's foot. So now Ben is he's slowed down.
Yeah.
But they use that leverage. They push the pole forward as Victor's running at him and impales Victor on the pole.
Yeah, and that's like, he's dead, right?
Yeah, he's dead. We know he's dead because
Yeah.
the intentional comedy in this movie is funny too. Like they know what horror fans find funny. So when like Ben and Victor are like face to face as Victor's death, then there's that one final, like you take your final breath as Victor like just blows blood all over Ben's face. It's funny. It's like it's not, but it is.
Yeah.
So now they do what any smart person would do. They take the boat that was Mary Beth's dad and brother. They take that spare boat out into the swamp. They're like, let's save let's just head out. Let's save ourselves. Mary Beth falls in the water, and gets her feet caught in seaweed, which, okay, that happens, I guess, more often than I realized. She's going to be drowning. Ben's calling out for her. Of course, he's not going to dive in after her because it's night. He can't see. But we do see, like, he extends his hand to her, and she swims up and grabs the hand. It's very heroic as pulls her above water. Victor has ripped off Ben's arm, and he's the one. And he's the one that saved Mary Beth. And we just basically get Victor grabs Mary Beth and just yells, like, lying into the camera as Ben is lying in the boat dying. And that's Hatchet. Like that's the end of the movie. What I've read, because I've not seen Hatchet 2 or 3, but what I've read is if you ignore the opening and end credits and you play these 3 movies in sequence, like all 3 movies take place over just a couple of days. So like everything just keeps like sailing right through. Like it's the same story continued on. And I'm like, so the next one leads off with Ben and Ben dying, Mary Beth and Victor in a boat. Like that's how you start your next movie? I have no idea. I haven't seen it. But that's Hatchet. That's Hatchet. Pretty quick movie, like 83 minutes or so.
Yeah, it was not long.
Less than an hour and a half, real in and out. It was fun. Did you recognize any actors from this movie at all?
No, like I know you said that, Freddy, like some big names, but I did not.
The main character, Ben, I'd seen him in some stuff. He was in a comedy called Grandma's Boy. He was fun in that movie.
Maybe I have.
Joel Murray, who played Doug Shapiro, that's Bill Murray's brother.
Okay.
You know who Bill Murray is?
Yes.
Okay. Kane Hodder, of course, was Jason. Robert Englund was Freddy Krueger. I just realized, looking at the cast list here, the actor who played Mary Beth's brother, the one at the beginning that got killed, he was one of the 3 actors in the Blair Witch Project.
Oh. He
was Josh, the cameraman.
Oh.
The one that went missing and that they were chasing around the woods. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense that he's in here, as he's also, Blair Witch Project came out about 7 years earlier. It was a huge hit. So kind of a fun, like, let's put people in this movie. Jim's character, I've seen him in a lot of stuff. He's in Bridesmaids. He's in Office Space. Those are 2 that I can think of right off the top of my head. So yeah, a lot of people in this movie for sure that were just kind of fun to be like, oh, good for you. because the budget was only like $1.5 million, so nobody got paid real well.
Yeah.
But hey, job's a job. So, um, yeah, lessons to take from this movie.
You don't always have to do what your friends do.
No, you don't. Like I said, those two friends that didn't go with Ben and
Yeah.
Marcus, they're still alive and at Mardi Gras and probably throwing beads
Mm-hmm.
at girls. But even then, like, sometimes you have an idea in your head, and if things start to line up and they look real sketchy, like, it's okay to wait on that idea.
Yeah.
Like when everything's lining up and you're like, this Sean guy doesn't really seem to know what he's talking about. Oh, this bus looks pretty broken down. Oh, he doesn't really look like he knows how to, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, this, not a good idea. And shame on Mary Beth, I guess. Like, she's the one that was the most knowledgeable about the situation and still let everybody go in.
Yeah.
Like, she knew exactly what was going down. But yeah, it'd been a while since you'd seen some gore, and I wanted to give you some gore. It has been. I wanted to bring you some gore. What would you rate this movie?
I'm going to give this movie a B+, just because, like, I did like all the gore.
Yeah.
But it was just it was silly.
Yeah, it was. It
Nothing
is a very
bad. It wasn't bad. Like, I'd gladly watch it again, but it also wasn't like, whew, that scared me.
Right. Yeah. This is definitely kind of a tongue in cheek. Like, we're gonna have fun. I gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Excuse me. It's like, it was fun. You could tell that Adam Green was a big fan of like 80s slasher movies and wanted to take a stab at his own. I did see in the trivia that the only CGI in the movie was like to erase like wires and things. Like, he wanted all of the death scenes to be practical, and you could tell they were. So kudos to him. B+ for you. I'm going to give it a B. I like this movie. It's short. It's fun. I think the gore works. I think the comedy works. But but again, there's nothing scary about this movie. Right. Like, even when it attempts a jump scare, you're not on the edge of your seat. So it doesn't really get you. Like, there's nothing, it's just a fun movie. Like, I'm curious what the other two were like, because I saw their IMDb ratings are pretty similar. So I don't think that there's like a big drop off in anything. And they came out, I believe, first one came out in 2006. The second one came out in 2010. The third one in 2013. And then the most recent one was 2017. So, and the same guy wrote, directed, and produced all of them.
Oh, that's nice. You get sometimes like different people, you know.
No, I guess he didn't direct the third one, but he did write and produce.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's enough curiosity there. Also, looking at some of these, like the third one's got other names that I recognize. Danielle Harris was in Halloween 4 and 5, as well as the Halloween remakes. Zach Galligan was in Gremlins and Gremlins 2. Tom Holland. Yeah, Tom Holland was the director that he acted in the second one. So yeah, it's like there's enough curiosity to be like, wonder what's there. Felicia Rose is in the fourth one. She was that name you don't recognize, but I know you know who she is. Way back, our very first episode, Sleepaway Camp, Felicia Rose played Angela.
Wait, okay, so speaking of Sleepaway Camp, I meant to. So at work one night, something happened, and I don't even remember. Oh, these girls went into the guy's bathroom, and so I was like, "Oh, you can't go in there." Like, sorry. And as I was coming back up, some guy goes, "What is this, Sleepaway Camp?" And I just and he like looked around, and I like looked at him, and he goes, "Let me guess, no one knows what that is." I said, "I do know what that is." I said, "Yes." I'm like, it is kind of Sleepaway Camp, I guess, like having to kick him out of the men's bathroom. And
like, do you have those parts?
But yeah, it was like 1 a.m. so I didn't text you, but I was
Oh,
like,
that's
oh
fair.
my goodness.
Good for you. It's like, you know what? The show does bring things to light.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, I do know what it is.
Yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, this Adam Green, the writer, director, et cetera, he's like big into horror. Like, writes, directs some stuff. Like, he's even said he was the lead singer of a hard rock metal band called Haddonfield, which would be the town that Michael Myers is from. So it's like, good for you.
Huh.
Like, if you're into that stuff,
Yeah.
lean into it. Go for it. So, fun stuff. So, what do you got for next week?
Okay, I have 4 different movies and I can't pick from
Oh,
them.
boy, 4.
Yeah. There's like 2004, 2003, 2005, and 2014.
All right. Well, what are the movies?
Okay, we've not watched Freddy vs. Jason, right?
No.
Okay. So that's one of them.
Okay.
Just because I remember it being on in my aunt and uncle's house and I had to leave the room because they're like, you can't watch this, you're too little.
Okay.
The Grudge. Because that's nostalgic for me, I feel like. Like, I remember being under the blanket while watching it, but I was so scared.
I'm guessing the original. No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
The Sarah Michelle Gellar 2004.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because that is based on an original
Yeah, not
Japanese
the Japanese
movie.
one.
And okay, I'll get you a story about that one in a minute. Go ahead.
That one like scared you, didn't it?
Yes, that was the story.
Yeah.
I'm like, I ordered that bootleg on eBay, and when it came in, I don't think I made it 15 minutes into the movie and was turning it off. Like it wrecked me.
The Voices,
Okay,
which I know we've discussed before.
You mentioned that one, yeah.
And Saw 2.
Okay. Oh, good.
I can't pick because I'm like, I remember exactly like how the house was set up when I watched The Grudge, and I was so scared, so I really didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But also some of these others look good too.
Let me see if The Grudge is going to come up. I don't remember if it comes up on Scratch Off Horror. I'm looking.
Okay.
Scrolling. Come on. No, it's not on Scratch Off Horror. So all 4 of these are Prime. So, and I have not seen The Voices. I've seen the other 3. I guess the question is, what level of scared are you going for?
I know, and that's my thing. Like, I'm kind of leaning towards The Grudge because it's got some jump scares, and we haven't had any jump scares in a while.
No, like I said, Saw is just going to be creatively gory.
Yeah. Yes.
The Voices is probably a little bit more comedic with Ryan Reynolds. Freddy vs. Jason is fun, but there are better Nightmare movies and better Friday the 13th movies than that one. It's still fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's but The Grudge, it's been a long time since I've seen it. But yeah, in terms of which one is trying to be scary, not gross, but actual scary, The Grudge is probably your best bet there.
Okay.
So
I think I'm going to go with The Grudge then.
Okay. So for next week, we will be watching what year was that again?
2004.
2004. That's right. We're watching 2004's The Grudge. Let's see where you guys could find that on streaming, if it's available. At this point, I feel like everything should be available on streaming somewhere. Like, I understand you may not have that service, but it's frustrating when it's not available. Yeah, you can watch The Grudge. It's leaving Prime Video in a day.
Oh my goodness.
But there's nowhere free to watch it. You could watch it on Prime Video with ads if you have Amazon Prime. But again, it's leaving in one day. So if you're going to watch this, granted, you're not going to make it because the likelihood of this being edited, uploaded, you watching it, it's going to be gone. So yeah, I guess You're going to have to wait. If you've got it on video, great. Maybe check out your local library. They might honestly have a copy of it. Yeah, so we're going to watch 2004's The Grudge, starring Sarah Michelle Gellar. I remember liking this one. I know the critics didn't, but this happened at a time where there was a lot of really solid Japanese horror movies coming out. Most of them ghost related, just really solid films. And Hollywood decided they needed to do their part. We need to remake these movies because nobody wants to watch a Japanese movie. The downside of that, of course, is they're probably not going to be as good. But they're easier to digest. So I guess you're tasked with the question, do you want to read it or listen to it?
Yeah, definitely listen to it.
Yeah, I know you'd rather listen. Yeah, this has on IMDb a 5.9. I do think it's directed by the same director of the original, though.
Okay.
I'm double checking that.
I feel like we have said that.
Yeah. Yes. Same director as the original. The original is a 6.7. The remake has a 5.9.
I just remember I did not make it past when she climbs up in the attic and is looking around and it's like boom, pops up.
Too much stuff.
Yeah. I was like, no.
So, we'll be watching the Sarah Michelle Gellar Grudge remake next week. Social media wise, you guys can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But yeah, let's see. We've got yours, and then it's scratch off the next week. So, but we'll try to get these a little more regular than once every 8 or 9 days. But who knows? It's a busy summer for both of us.
It is.
And it's not like we're getting paid to do it. So
that's right.
You'll get them when you get them. But no, for another episode of Education, I'm Mike.
And I'm Courtney.
And we'll see you guys next week with The Grudge.
Bye.